Right now, as you're watching this, sitting exactly where you are, hearing my voice, feeling the weight of your own body, everything around you feels completely solid, completely real, completely undeniable. But what if none of it actually is what it appears to be? What if the life you're living right now, with all its struggles, all its joys, all its seemingly fixed circumstances, is actually something far more fluid, far more temporary, and far more within your control than you've ever been taught to believe? Neville Goddard had a phrase for this, a phrase that sounds almost too simple, almost too strange. But once you understand what he meant, it might completely change how you experience everything happening around you. He said, God is dreaming this world into existence, and you, the very consciousness reading these words right now, are that dreamer. Let's slow down, because this idea can sound almost mystical or abstract at first, but I want to break it down in a way that actually makes practical sense. Because underneath this poetic language is something deeply useful for how you live your everyday life. Neville taught that the physical world, everything you see, touch, and experience as solid reality, is not the ultimate truth of existence. It's more like a dream, a projection, an outward expression of a deeper, invisible reality happening within consciousness itself. And the one doing the dreaming, the one whose inner state is being projected outward as this so-called solid world, is you. Not you, the physical body walking around in it, but you, the awareness, the consciousness, the imaginative power that exists prior to and beyond the physical form you currently identify with. Think about an actual dream you have at night for a moment. While you're inside that dream, it feels completely real. The people feel real, the emotions feel real. Even physical sensations within the dream can feel vivid and convincing. You don't question the reality of the dream while you're inside it, you simply experience it as truth, because your consciousness is fully immersed in it. It's only when you wake up that you recognize, oh, that wasn't actually happening the way it seemed. It was a projection of my own mind, shaped by my own inner state, my own fears, my own desires, my own unresolved thoughts. Neville's radical claim was that waking life operates on a very similar principle, just on a much larger, much more persistent scale. The physical world you're experiencing right now is, in a sense, a much more stable, much more consistent dream, being continuously generated by a deeper level of consciousness. And that consciousness, that dreamer, is fundamentally you. Not your limited, everyday personality, but the deeper imaginative power within you that Neville often referred to as God, or the I Am. The same creative force that religious traditions have pointed to for centuries, just described in a way that puts the responsibility and the power directly inside your own awareness, rather than in some distant external deity completely separate from you. This idea completely reframes how you might approach challenges in your life. If the world around you is genuinely more like a persistent, structured dream, shaped by consciousness, then struggling against external circumstances directly is a bit like trying to change a dream by rearranging objects within the dream itself, while ignoring the dreamer who's actually generating the entire experience. Real change, according to Neville, doesn't happen by frantically manipulating the dream from the inside. It happens by shifting the state of the dreamer, meaning shifting your own inner consciousness, your assumptions, your feelings, your imaginative focus, which then naturally reshapes what shows up within the dream itself. Let's bring this down to something concrete, because I think this analogy becomes incredibly powerful when applied practically. Imagine someone stuck in a recurring nightmare, being chased by something frightening, night after night. If they try to fight the thing chasing them within the dream, using dream logic, dream weapons, dream strategies, they might get temporary relief, but the underlying fear producing the nightmare in the first place remains untouched, ready to generate a similar, frightening scenario again. But if that same person begins working on their actual waking consciousness, healing the underlying fear, shifting their emotional state at a deeper level, the nightmares themselves often naturally stop. Not because they fought harder within the dream, but because the dreamer's underlying state changed, and the dream had no choice but to reflect that change. This is exactly the shift Neville was pointing toward when he said, God is dreaming this world, and that dreamer is you. Your circumstances, your recurring struggles, your persistent challenges are being generated by your current state of consciousness, not by some external force acting upon you from outside. This means the deepest, most effective work you can do isn't endlessly trying to manipulate external circumstances directly. It's shifting your own inner state, your assumptions, your feelings, your imaginative focus. The actual dreamer, generating the dream you're currently experiencing. I know this idea can feel overwhelming, maybe even a little unsettling at first, especially the idea that you're somehow the dreamer behind experiences that feel like they're happening to you, rather than because of you. I want to address this directly, because I think it's really important to understand this correctly. This isn't about blaming yourself for painful experiences, or pretending that external, sometimes very real hardships aren't genuinely difficult and significant. What Neville was pointing to is something more nuanced, that your relationship to those experiences, your interpretation of them, your ongoing response to them, and ultimately what continues to unfold from this point forward, is deeply influenced by the state of consciousness you're currently holding, whether you're consciously aware of that influence or not. Let's talk about what it actually means to consciously become aware that you are the dreamer, rather than simply a character trapped inside the dream, reacting helplessly to whatever appears. The first step is recognizing that your current experience of reality, no matter how convincing, no matter how solid it feels, is deeply connected to your inner state, your assumptions, your habitual feelings about yourself and the world, just like within a nighttime dream. Becoming lucid, becoming aware that you're dreaming while still inside the dream, changes everything about how you experience it. Waking life offers a similar kind of lucidity. The moment you recognize, even briefly, that this experience is being shaped by my consciousness, not simply happening to me from some completely external, unrelated source, you shift from being a passive character within the dream to becoming an active, aware participant in shaping what happens next. This lucidity doesn't require rejecting the physical world as fake or unimportant. It simply means recognizing that the physical world is far more responsive to your inner state than most people ever realize. Just as a lucid dreamer can begin to consciously influence what happens within a dream, once they recognize they're dreaming, you can begin to consciously influence what unfolds in your waking experience once you truly recognize that your inner state, your assumptions, your imaginative focus is the actual creative force behind what you're experiencing, moment to moment, day to day. Neville often spoke about imagination as the actual creative power of God, operating through each individual person. This isn't imagination in the childish sense of pretend, make-believe fantasy completely disconnected from reality. It's imagination as a genuine creative faculty, the same faculty responsible for generating the seemingly solid, persistent dream you call waking life. When you deliberately, consciously. Use your imagination, feeling specific desired scenes as true, embodying specific desired states as your current reality. You're not engaging in escapist fantasy. You're actively participating in the dreaming process that Neville insisted is always happening, whether you're consciously directing it or simply allowing old, habitual patterns to keep generating the same recurring experiences. I want to share a way of thinking about this that might make it feel more tangible. Consider how, within an ordinary nighttime dream, your emotional state often directly shapes what happens next in the dream storyline. Fear tends to generate frightening scenarios. Calm confidence tends to generate smoother, more pleasant scenarios. Neville's teaching suggests that waking life operates on a similar underlying principle, just unfolding over a longer time frame, with more apparent solidity and consistency. Because you're dealing with a much more persistent level of consciousness, collectively agreeing upon certain physical laws and structures. But underneath that apparent solidity, the same basic principle holds true. Your inner emotional and imaginative state continues to shape what unfolds within your particular experience of this shared dream. This reframes personal responsibility in an incredibly empowering way, without falling into unhealthy self-blame. You're not responsible for creating every external event happening in the world, or for other people's choices and actions, but you are the dreamer of your own particular experience within this larger shared reality. Your interpretation, your emotional relationship to events, your ongoing imaginative focus, and ultimately what continues to unfold from any given moment forward, remains deeply, genuinely within your creative influence, even when specific external circumstances feel completely outside your control. So what does this actually look like practically, day to day? It starts with a simple but profound shift in how you relate to your own inner experience. Instead of treating your thoughts, feelings, and imaginative focus as passive commentary on an already fixed external reality, you begin treating them as the actual generative source, shaping what continues to unfold. This means paying much closer attention to your habitual inner state, not with anxious self-monitoring, but with a gentle, ongoing awareness, recognizing when you've slipped into old habitual patterns of fear or scarcity, and consciously choosing, again and again, to return to a more empowered, more deliberately chosen inner state instead. It also means approaching your imagination with much more intentionality than most people ever do. Instead of only imagining worst-case scenarios, replaying anxious what-if situations, rehearsing arguments that haven't happened yet, you begin deliberately, consciously imagining scenes that reflect the reality you'd actually prefer to experience, feeling those scenes as vividly, as convincingly, as you currently feel your habitual worries and fears. This isn't naive positive thinking, it's recognizing that you're always dreaming something, whether consciously chosen or unconsciously defaulted into old patterns, and deliberately choosing to dream something that actually serves you, rather than allowing old fear-based patterns to continue running the show, simply because they've become familiar and automatic. I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time your circumstances feel completely fixed, completely outside your influence, completely solid and undeniable, I want you to gently remind yourself of what Neville insisted was always true, underneath the apparent solidity of this experience. There is a dreamer, and that dreamer is you. Not a distant, external God completely separate from your own awareness, but the very consciousness reading these words right now, The same imaginative power, capable of shifting, reshaping, and ultimately transforming the ongoing dream you call your life. You are not simply a character, trapped helplessly within this experience, reacting to whatever appears. You are, quite literally, according to Neville's teaching, the dreamer, gently, continuously, dreaming this entire experience into being, moment by moment, day by day. And the moment you truly recognize that, everything about how you engage with your own life has the potential to change.